It's almost!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Now, it's another power-packed show heading your way today. We've got a lot of stories from around the world, newsmakers who are dominating the day just before we head into the weekend. On one hand, we have a superstar who's finally given in and said he's going to move on. In football itself, we also have a brawl, a fight, an argument that has really shaken up the entire system in a particular country. We're going to get you more on South Korea and the crisis it faces. There's also cricket on the show. We have Pakistan in the middle of it all once again. What's the latest that's brewing in that team when it comes to their cricketing system? A player's contract has been terminated. Is that the way forward that every other board will now adopt? And of course, Formula One. Yes, Lewis Hamilton is always going to be in the news. We're going to also get you a little bit more about what his biggest rival had to say about his move to the Reds. All of that lined up over the next half hour. But first, a look at the headlines from around the world in Sports 360. We'll start with cricket. In the ongoing third test between India and England, India's Ravichandran Ashwin reached a huge milestone. Ashwin reached 500 test wickets today by dismissing Zach Crawley of England. He joins an elite list like Shane Warne, Muthaiya Muralidharan, James Anderson, to name just a few. He's the second Indian to reach that landmark after Anil Kumble, who had 619 scalps to his name. We'll stay with cricket news. New Zealand beat South Africa by 7 wickets in the second and final test match. The Black Caps set a target of 267 runs. Kane Williamson was the star of the show with a score of 133 in the second innings. Having won the first test, New Zealand sealed the series 2-0. Lionel Messi returned to Inter Miami's starting 11 after a groin injury. The Major League Soccer club played a pre-season friendly against Newell's Old Boys yesterday, a club Messi himself had been a part of back in 1995. The game ended in a 1-1 draw. Messi, who was removed in the 60th minute, came back to thank his fans for watching Inter Miami's final match of the preseason. And we sum up. And over in badminton, the Indians women's team notched up a 3-0 win over Hong Kong and have reached the semi-finals of the Badminton Asia Team Championships. PV Sindhu started strong against Lo Sin Yan Happy, but had to regroup herself after a second game hiccup to win 21-7, 16-21, 21-12. The victory has ensured India's maiden medal at the tournament. And wrapping up the headlines from the world of tennis, former world number 1 Simona Halep is suing a Canadian nutritional supplement company. Halep was banned for 4 years after being tested positive of roxadustat at the 2022 US Open. Halep believes consumption of their product led to her 4-year ban for doping. She's seeking more than $10 million in damages from the company. The chaos and controversy continues to engulf Pakistan cricket, be it with the results on the pitch or the drama that's constantly there off it. The turmoil and mess doesn't seem to end. From captaincy to management, and now the latest addition being discord between the Pakistan board and its players. The instability continues to follow Pakistan cricket. Forget the form that they're in for a moment. It's what's happening outside the field that continues to peg them back. Nothing seems to be going right for them at the moment. The latest salt to their wounds is regarding one of their senior-most players, fast bowler Haris Rauf. The latest is that the Pakistan Cricket Board, or PCB, has terminated Haris Rauf's central contract on February 15th. This is huge. PCB, or the Pakistan Board, came out with this statement.
Fast bowler Haris Rauf has been penalised by Pakistan Cricket Board following a probe into his refusal to join Pakistan's Test squad for the tour of Australia 2023-24. Haris's central contract has been terminated from December 1st, 2023, and no NOC to play any foreign league will be granted up to June 30th, 2024. Refusal to be part of Pakistan's Test squad in the absence of any medical report or justifiable reason is a material violation of the central contract.
Right, let's first try and understand this statement. It is not that the board doesn't wish for him to play at all. How could that be? Haris Rauf is one of the best bowlers in their ranks. If Pakistan wants to correct the mishap that ODI World Cup 2023 was for them, that they will need the services of the bowler such as Haris Rauf. So what they are indicating here is boundaries. They are eliminating every possibility of Haris Rauf playing T20 leagues all over the world and exhausting himself or picking up any injuries. That could impact Pakistan's T20 World Cup campaign. They're aware of this. So what exactly happened that led to this? Pakistan travelled to Australia for a test series. It happened just some months ago. The very same test series where Pakistan was whitewashed in. Haris Rauf had stated his reluctance in being picked for this series. He had no intention of playing test cricket. From grumbling about too much cricket, it finally came down to wanting to play in Australia, yes, but not the test series, the T20 League, the Big Bash. After a lot of hemming and hawing, the Pakistan Cricket Board finally decided to let Haris Rauf play, with the condition of him coming back to play the T20 series against New Zealand the month afterwards. The T20 series that would be a preparatory one for the World Cup that is coming in a few months now. He played for the Big Bash League, of course, came back, returned to play for Pakistan against New Zealand. He was among the top 4 wicket takers in the series, in fact. So clearly, it seemed like he had kept his end of the deal. But Pakistan wants him to be available, fit and ready to play for the country come World Cup. They did have a hearing and they decided to take this decision post it. It is reflective in some ways of many of the other mini battles a lot of the other boards the world over are engaged in at the moment. The allure and temptation of T20 leagues has pushed many cricketers away from their board and the central contracts. And this is the case normally with players who are in the latter half of their careers, like Haris Rauf here. But Pakistan coming down hard on Rauf is just them showing the player who the boss is. Some boards like the West Indies clearly do not seem to have that strong hold, with certain key players choosing to go the league way and the board relenting. But the big worry in Pakistan cricket is not only insubordination. PCB has also parted ways with Mohammed Hafeez, the former cricketer who served as the director of cricket post the World Cup loss. Now let's face it, the results have not come in. Whether it's the defeat in Australia thereafter or the humiliating loss against New Zealand that they faced in the T20 series where they lost 1-4. And the reports that emerged in Pakistan media itself of players, particularly some of the seniors in the squad, not getting along with the former Pakistan player, Mohammed Hafeez. All of this has only added fuel to fire. Taking to X, formerly known as Twitter, PCB announced their decision to part ways with Hafeez. And wait, there's more. There are new reports that have emerged that Pakistan are probably contemplating giving the captaincy baton back to Babar Azam. Incredulous if that were to happen, especially after that audio leak, which had supposedly the former PCB chief Zaka Ashraf talking about plotting the exit of Babar Azam as captain and getting fresh heads to lead in tests and the shorter format. The string of losses again seems to be hinting at Pakistan's management engaging in another knee-jerk reaction. If this is not disarray, what is? The T20 World Cup is exactly in 4 months' time now. Any decision pertaining to the setup of the squad that will take the field then has to happen now. With no team director, discord amid board and players, and uncertainty over who will lead the side, Pakistan definitely is on sticky wicket. But like I always like to say about this particular country and this cricket system that they have, they are the most mercurial side, at least when it comes to their cricket. Just when you think they are down and out, the team will surprise you and win a title or two, like they have in the past. So maybe the affairs and the chaos outside the field too will suddenly fall into place. At least that's what Pakistan cricket fans will be hoping. Now, Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid, or to Arsenal, or to Manchester City, or any of the top clubs in the world. No, it's not an official statement, but I'm just listing all the speculations that are on since Kylian Mbappe's one decision. The French striker has informed his League One club, Paris Saint-Germain, or PSG as they say, that he intends to leave the club at the end of the season. Mbappe is a free agent, and in just a few months from now, Mbappe's contract with PSG is set to expire after the season. finally, the will he, won't he drama has ended. I remember from the past 4 years, during every transfer window, news of his imminent departure would surface again. Every window, the news about the star striker kept doing the rounds, whether it was 2021, 2022 or even last year. The drama continued to build around his possible departure, splitting his ties with PSG. And it's happening now, finally, in 2024. Mbappe will leave the club after being with them for 7 long years. And during his spell at PSG, Mbappe featured on 290 occasions. He scored a total of 243 goals and assisted 105. And is PSG's highest goal scorer. That's an impressive record. Let's look at the club then and what success they've enjoyed. Now, PSG is the biggest club in the French league. They completely dominate Ligue 1. They've had immense success in France. In domestic tournaments, they have an impressive trophy cabinet to reflect upon. Given the stature of the club, Mbappe won many trophies with PSG. Mbappe has several domestic trophies to brag about. As we've said, he won almost everything with the French side, like you see in that list. He also has a Ligue 1 title with his boyhood club, Monaco. Many titles there, well, except the coveted one, except the lucrative Champions League. Mbappe might have been on the circuit for a while, but many seem to forget that he is still only a 25-year-old. I admit it can get confusing if you win a World Cup at the age of 19. At 25, Mbappe has literally won everything. Well, except of course the UEFA Champions League, as I keep saying. So it's no surprise that he wants to explore outside PSG. And a reason why he's regularly linked to the Spanish club, the very fancied Real Madrid. The Frenchman has been dreaming of playing at Real since he was a kid. And why wouldn't he? A team that has 14 Champions League titles to their name. The most successful team in the history of the tournament. One of the most successful teams in Spain, of course, besides Barcelona. And the fact that his idol, Cristiano Ronaldo, played for the club is surely an incentive. In 2021, Real Madrid offered 180 million euros for Mbappe in a trade deal. But the Paris club rejected the bid and Mbappe stayed back. In 2022, when Mbappe's contract was about to expire, amid frenzied speculations that the Los Blancos would finally get him to join, Mbappe signed a new deal with PSG in May. It would have frustrated fans all across the globe, and many started believing that Mbappe's move to Madrid would never happen. But as soon as the news came out about Mbappe's decision to leave PSG finally, the talks about Mbappe to Madrid have started once again. While nothing has been confirmed just yet, Real Madrid are the overwhelming favourites to sign up Mbappe. But do the Spanish giants really need Mbappe in their current setup? Madrid are top of the La Liga points table and are favourites to lift the Spanish league. With Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham in the forefront, they are not desperate for another attacking option. But again, there is nothing such as too much for Real Madrid. This is the same club that initiated the concept of recruiting Galacticos in early 2000s, meaning splurging and using the big bucks on the biggest players in the market. But if reports are to be believed, what Madrid is supposedly offering Mbappe is significantly lower this time compared to the one they made in 2022. The salary also lower than Mbappe's current pay package. So will Mbappe sign over the dotted line? Given his childhood dream was to play for the club, he may cave in. But because you are 25, the dream becomes more important than the means. But why not? Especially when he has filled all his pockets enough during his time at PSG, because his salary at PSG is quite insane. But is Real Madrid the only destination in Mbappe's mind? It was reported that Mbappe has expressed his desire to join English Premier League club Arsenal. He hasn't made any statement regarding this, however, but many feel he might follow the footsteps of French legend Thierry Henry. Henry flourished at Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. And speaking about the rumours, Henry himself said, and I quote, "Where he is going to go, no one knows. Everyone thinks it's going to be to that one place." Well, of course, Henry refrained from going into specifics, but we too think it could be that one destination, like many are speculating, Real Madrid. But with Arsenal and other top clubs also in the mix, it's up to Mbappe to make that decision. But one thing is for sure, the upcoming transfer window would be just as exciting as Mbappe's performance on the field. South Korean football is in the news, and not for the right reasons. No, I'm not talking about their exit from the AFC Asian Cup alone. Their 2-0 loss to Jordan in the semi-finals meant that the wait for the title continued. In fact, after that match, all conversations revolved around Jordan's heroic win. No one spoke of Korea's deflated performance as a unit. The real picture, though, now is emerging. The real issue behind their horrid show. Because let's face it, when an 87th ranked team beats one that's ranked 23rd in the world, skeletons ought to fall out of the closet. So the word is, all is not well in the Korean camp. Their captain and star player Son Heung-min hurt his finger. That's okay, but how is the issue? In a brawl with his own teammates just before that semi-final clash. And that was only the starting point. The AFC Asian Cup was dramatic. Many upsets, superb wins, the rise of the underdogs like Jordan and Palestine. Another chapter is unfolding, the chaos in South Korean football. And it all began with the loss to Jordan, in fact, in the semi-finals. An encounter they should have won, on paper at least. Not once did the Korean team display any reason that justified their world ranking. The team too, under the leadership of Son Heung-min, looked disjointed, and reports emerging now has more or less confirmed that. At the heart of the disharmony is the captain himself. Son Heung-min had an altercation with his teammates before the big semi-final against Jordan. The argument took place when some young players went up to play table tennis during team dinner. The captain and some other senior players objected, saying a team dinner before a knockout game was more important. The exchanges got more heated, turning into a proper fight. And it did not just stop there. There was a scuffle, and the argument got physical rather quickly, resulting in the star player injuring his finger before a big game. Son was even spotted with a wrapped finger during the semi-final clash against Jordan later. The Korean Football Association had to finally break its silence on the matter.
We have confirmed the facts. There was a fight between players at the Asian Cup. The facts have been confirmed, and now we need to delve into some more specific details for further confirmation.
If South Korea's defeat in the semi-finals was disappointing, the dressing room drama has put South Korean football and its players in poor light. Some of the players are surely showing remorse. Lee Kang-in apologized via his social media platform. "We have caused great disappointment to the soccer fans who always support our national team," he says. "I'm just sorry for showing soccer fans a bad image. I apologize to the many people who were disappointed by me." Now, something like this, a proper fight between the players resulting in injury, can't go without any consequences. Every action needs a response. And head coach Jurgen Klinsmann has faced the brunt of it all. Reasons were plenty. The humbling loss, of course, and the locker room fiasco. Both of these shouldn't have happened in the first place. But the rot, as they say, runs deep. The association has not only sacked Klinsmann, but has also gone on to say that he showed zero interest in player selections and was not as involved in the well-being of the team.
There was a lack of tactical preparation for the Asian Cup. Additionally, there were opinions suggesting that during the term, the coach did not show the willingness to directly observe and discover various players for selection. He could not properly read the atmosphere and internal conflicts. There were also criticism regarding the lack of guidance in setting the team's discipline. For various reasons, there was a conclusion that coach Jurgen Klinsmann can no longer exercise leadership as the national team's coach and needs to be replaced.
South Korea takes great pride in not just its standing in world football as a sporting nation, but also in the way they conduct affairs. And something like this, managing to come out, has definitely tarnished their image. In front of not just their fans, but also others, their competitors in particular, watching. No one likes dirty linen being washed in public, and South Korea will have to do more now to damage control and wipe that slate clean. Now, the Lewis Hamilton move to Ferrari is not going to die down anytime soon. Yes, it's still a year away before we see Lewis Hamilton in red, but his surprise move that ended a long-standing stint with Mercedes continues to be a talking point on the grid. Now, his biggest rival, Red Bull driver and reigning Formula One champion Max Verstappen, has spoken about the Hamilton move. Verstappen says it will be an awkward season for Hamilton this year with Mercedes. That even though Toto Wolff and Hamilton will work towards winning together, Hamilton will not be in the thick of the things anymore. The mind games clearly have begun before even the start of the season, and Verstappen has fired the first shot.
Red Bull has been the fastest, meanest car on the circuit for a while now. Last year, their lead driver Max Verstappen stamped his authority and class, winning the F1 championship with a strong, consistent performance. And he ensured no other team or driver came even close to shaking his dominance. Well, that put enough pressure on Mercedes' Toto Wolff and their lead driver Lewis Hamilton. It went to the point of disgruntlement and discord in the team. Hamilton showed his displeasure at the machine and Toto Wolff just as dissatisfied with the results. So this season 2024 was going to be a really important one for Mercedes. And that's when came the announcement of Hamilton jumping ship and moving on to Ferrari. Toto Wolff came out saying he wishes Hamilton the best and everyone had to get on with it. But trust Max Verstappen to come out saying what no one, in Mercedes at least, wanted to hear.
The only thing for me was I think that it was a little bit leaked, of course, and then they had to announce it. Because to announce something that big that early in the season, for sure for the rest of the year is a bit awkward, even though you had a lot of success together as a team. You can't be included in everything anymore. For sure, he has a great relationship with everyone and Toto. But Toto knows and Toto will tell him at some point, we've had a lot of success, but you can't be a part of meetings anymore.
Knowing that this will be the last ride together can go two ways. One way to see it is get yourselves together and wrap up the stint on a high. After all, you owe that much to a relation that was more than a decade long. However, the last year was tenuous enough and put quite a bit of strain on everyone in Mercedes for things to be nice and smooth for one last year. So Verstappen here is not too far off the mark when he makes this comment. And so the mind games have begun. And it hasn't been just Verstappen chirping away. Red Bull's Helmut Marko has done a bit of talking too. First, he revealed that when he was chatting about Hamilton's Ferrari move with Max Verstappen, the driver was not amused. Marko believes that Hamilton leaving Mercedes will certainly weaken the team, and that this will most certainly change the F1 landscape. After throwing down the gauntlet, Verstappen also is quick to follow up with the whole being professional quip, that at the end of the day, races have to be won.
At the end of the day, I think you are professional enough to just deal with what you have. It's not like they are suddenly enemies or whatever. He has achieved so many great things at that whole team. They're still behind him, but after a point, you know that you can't share certain stuff.
So when Verstappen was asked if he ever harbored the dream of driving for Ferrari like many others on the circuit, surely, his usual swaggering response is unmissable.
I don't want to sound like disrespectful or whatever, because I have a lot of respect for the brand Ferrari, but I'm happy where I'm at. I'm comfortable in the environment I'm in, so it's not something I'm looking to change or whatever. But again, in my life, you always want to experience, so never say never. But for me now, it's not even in my head.
The coming season surely has become rather exciting. And after a seemingly one-sided 2023, no matter the race results, one thing is certain: the drama off the tracks will certainly keep us all hooked.
Now we're on to last serve. The most heartwarming story of the week has been that of football champion Sebastian Haller, who came back after fighting cancer to lead his side, Ivory Coast, to AFCON glory. Here he is being given a super warm welcome by his Bundesliga club, Dortmund.
I'm just happy to be back. I think it was a lot of emotions, a lot of things happened, and I was really happy to see the guys. I hope they were also happy to see me, and yeah, it was a warm welcome.
smiles there. And Holla always says the show must go on, but this one has come to an end. With that though, thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast we brought you today. Have a great weekend. I'll see you again on Monday with more stories from around the world of sports. Till then, bye-bye.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden. How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on First Post America.